Hello, listeners, fuckers, dudes, and dudettes. Welcome to episode 3 of GrumpyXSunshine. That's not 3 X's, but we do come with a parental advisory. I'm Storm, aka Grumpy, if you couldn't fucking tell.
I'm Lady, aka Sunshine. Hello.
And today we'll be reading some creepy Reddit ghost stories for you.
So excited.
We both picked out a few. Okay, so do you want to go back and forth, or do you want to do...
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. I gotta burp. You're welcome.
Your burps are always so surprising. Alright.
Okay. So this is from r/ghosts on Reddit by user economist number 2159. It was posted 6 days ago. It's under personal encounters. It is titled Ghost Child at Work in New Hampshire Late at Night. So, hey y'all, hope everyone is doing great. So this happened maybe 2 years ago. I was working as a night manager at a local grocery store, and it had been one crazy day of business. It was probably around 10 p.m. and the store was finally slowing down. So I had to go to the restroom. Let me give you the layout of the store. When you come into the store, you come into the front entrance and then turn left and walk into the store. The produce department is the first one you see, and if you go to the right, you'll go down this hallway to the break room and the restrooms. So I walk into the far stall in the restrooms, do my business. I then hear a voice of a child saying, "Hello?" I was really not paying attention, thinking he was talking to somebody else. But then he said hello one more time. This time, I figured out he was talking to me, so I came out of the stall. He was dressed up really nice. He was maybe 5 to 7 years old. He was very well dressed, had on blue jeans, a dress shirt, and a tie, a blue vest. Hair was well groomed, and he said hello again. I said hello, was thinking to myself how I found it odd I didn't hear the door open or shut. The door to the men's room shut hard and always slams shut. Then he asked me how to turn the water on the sink. I showed him, and all you had to do was put your hands under the nozzle and it turned on automatically. Asked him if he had a parent waiting, and he said his mom was waiting for him. I said, okay, be safe. Put a stepping stool for him under the sink so he could use it, and went back to work.
He couldn't use the sink because he was
It wouldn't turn on for him.
Yeah.
Because he was a ghost. Not necessarily, but it probably just, the automatic ones are hard for me, and I'm 24.
He didn't wait to see if the kid, put his hand under and turn it on.
You don't think ghosts can use energy to manipulate a sink?
I'm just pointing out that he didn't wait to see if the kid did it or not.
Why would you wait to see if a kid was washing their hands?
Because if I'm demonstrating to a child how to do something, I wait for them to show me that they can do it before I just, dip. Right?
It says that he showed him. The adult showed him.
Yeah, he showed him and said, yeah, it's just automatic. You put your hand under it.
Yeah.
Pulled up a stool, then walked up the bathroom, right?
It doesn't say that there's not another interaction showing that he's washing his hands.
Okay, valid. Sorry, continue.
So I went back to work, and then literally passed one of my workers outside the restroom. He said he would be out shortly, so go back to work. A few minutes later, he joined me. I asked him if he saw the little boy washing his hands, and he said, "What little boy?" I thought he was joking, so I told him about the little boy. He said there was no little boy in there. So I went to looking for the little boy. First went back to the restroom, but figured he wouldn't be in there. Then went looking for him in the store, had 2 people working the front of the produce department just outside the hallway. I asked them if they saw the boy, and they both said no. The boy would have had to walk right by them. So I walked the entire store looking for him and his mom. Saw no one. I asked everyone who was working, and no one saw them. Then went up to loss prevention and had them go over the footage of the store. Saw me go into the restroom, but saw no little boy or mother. Then saw me come out and my coworker come out. We looked at the footage of all the cameras, and the boy and his mom were never seen. To this day, I hope him and his mom have found peace and have moved on.
Ew.
Yep. Oh, here's a comment from OP. Didn't know if the water turned on or not. He was standing behind the stool when I left the restroom.
Ew. Little kid ghosts freak me out. I'm not gonna lie.
They don't freak me out. It depends on the spirit itself. Like if they're pretending to be a ghost, like a ghost pretending to be a ghost. If it's pretending to be a child, that's what freaks me out.
Okay, so my story is from the subreddit Ghost Stories. It's called A Ghost Break-In by user resident_wing_3012. Growing up, I always heard or saw things in my home. No one ever believed me, so I eventually just thought it was childhood nonsense. I now know my childhood home is very haunted and has so many ghost stories, but this is only one of them. In 2015, my little brother 10 and I 21 were home alone for about a week while my parents were in Mexico. One night, we had a movie night in my parents' bedroom. For reference, the bedrooms are all down the same hallway, with my parents' bedroom being the middle bedroom, my brother's room being the one on the right, and also none of the windows are open, FYI. So while they're in their bedroom, the brother's room is to the right of them, and their room, I don't know, their room is to the left.
Okay, can't picture that, but
Okay.
it's weird that they speak this in so much detail. None of the windows were open. Da 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 da. Like, I get it, but like that's a lot of detail to remember from 2015.
That's what I'm saying, but it's okay. We were about halfway through the movie when we suddenly heard the front door open and slam very hard against the wall. I panicked and automatically closed the bedroom door, turned off the TV. We heard heavy footsteps that sounded like heavy men's boots enter the foyer and start rummaging through our things.
What the fuck?
I called 911 immediately and put my brother in the closet because this man was rummaging loudly and I could hear him go from the foyer to the living room to the dining room, etc. The 911 operator told me to stay in the room and that the police were very close and to only come out when they said so. As I am on the phone with 911, I hear the footsteps walk down the hall and go into my brother's room, the bedroom on the right, and start rummaging through things there, moving things in the closet. We can still hear the noises in the room next to us when I suddenly hear the police swing open the front door and yell for the intruder to surrender. When the police finally told us to come out, my brother and I told them to check the bedroom on the right since that's where we had just heard the noises. They flipped that room upside down trying to find someone but found nothing. They then asked me to check the house and make sure nothing is missing. When I checked the kitchen, most of the cabinets were open, and in the dining room, most of the chairs were pulled out. Although nothing was missing, seeing that scene was freaky because I had not left the kitchen and dining room like that, and for a moment I thought maybe it was a ghost. I even asked the police to check the basement and the attic, but didn't find anyone or any evidence of a break-in. The front door wasn't even open. I felt like a fool. When my parents found out, they automatically assumed we made these noises up or heard the noises in our heads. About a year later, my mom was home alone and it happened to her. She was so scared and she finally believed us. The same events happened. First, the front door slammed open, then the footsteps started walking around and rummaging through everything. Finally, the noises stopped in my brother's closet. The break-in has happened at least 4 more times.
What the fuck?
We had not had a break-in in about 4 years, but last week my little brother said he was home alone and heard the same break-in. I'm only sorry that I was not able to be there for him.
Oh.
Isn't that freaky? But that's why the no windows were open was relevant, because they were checking the house and there's no windows are open.
Yeah.
Their front door wasn't even open, but someone like broke in.
Yeah, they couldn't have gotten out.
So when they go look in the brother's bedroom,
yeah,
it's, they tossed the room and the window wasn't open.
Saying it pretense.
Yeah.
Like before your story starts, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, so you checked all the windows beforehand?
I think what they did was they wrote the story down, and then as they were reading through it, they decided to make that comment at the top so that they didn't have to edit what they wrote.
Okay, so like no editor, like no Reddit poster was like, oh my god, did you check the windows? Post it, and then continue reading. Oh, they did check the windows.
Right.
Because people like to jump on the, I haven't read all the way through it train.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
Okay, my next story is from the subreddit r/ghosts. It's from Your Tubby Buddy.
I love that username.
You said that last time I read it to you too.
Oh.
By the way, we tried to record this episode and Lady was falling asleep. What was it, last weekend?
Yeah.
Or not last weekend, it was
Wednesday.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was someday in the middle of the week. Lady was falling asleep and just completely passed out while I was reading this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You lulled me to sleep.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I'm just so melodic. Would that be the word?
Melodic. No.
We're close.
Melody.
Yeah. Melodic.
Harmonic.
Melancholy. No.
That's definitely
now we're way off kilter. Anyways.
Melodic. So
from r/ghosts by user Your Tubby Buddy. Still scratching my head to this day. ... Help. It's from Personal Encounters. About 4 years ago, my girlfriend and myself were doing some outside exercises at our local river/trail. She decided she wanted to run the trail and I wanted to bike it. This trail has a main bridge that's in the middle of the trail connecting each side. There are other ones on both ends, but the middle one is where they're all the attractions are.
Okay.
We both go in separate directions, as my plan was to take my path, then turn around towards her path to meet up and finish, as she only wanted to do the one side. They're about 2 to 3 miles each side, I'd say. Since I'm riding my bike, I was flying down this trail. I get to the end and decide to turn around rather than to continue. Next part leads to a local lake. As I'm riding back, I rode past this older gentleman who appeared to be in his 80s. He had a warm smile and a friendly wave as we both exchanged the typical hello you do when passing someone on the trail. I don't know why I really noticed him, but he seemed to be looking at me, and I was approaching, waiting for my hello. I get to the middle of the path by the main bridge and decide to ride across it overlooking the river. Now, like I said, this guy was walking away from the middle of the bridge. Had to be about a quarter to a half mile down the trail from this bridge. I ride across and then turn back to go the other side again to continue the trail to the other side for me to meet my girlfriend. I make it to the other side, but decide to take a quick break. So I hop off my bike, started scrolling TikTok, and about 10 minutes pass, and all of a sudden I got this feeling to look up. I looked up and was shocked. This older gentleman crossing the bridge. Now, let me explain again real quick. The trail is about 2 to 3 miles in both ways. This older gentleman is walking at an enjoying the view type of pace. He was about a quarter to a half a mile in, so for him to go that extra 1.5 to 2 miles would take a lot longer than 10 minutes. Plus the side across the bridge is another 2 miles, as it's the main twisty road. Therefore, for him to be able to walk that in 10 minutes is impossible. Even for a marathon runner, I'd say. So I look up and see this older gentleman who is bundled up in a gray beanie, olive green faded puffer jacket, and jeans walking towards me. This same exact outfit I saw in the guy who was going the opposite direction. I get social anxiety sometimes, so since we already said hello once, I looked down at my phone as he was approaching my way. I'd say he was maybe 20 yards from me when I saw him. At that moment, it didn't kick in that I just saw him on the path I was on. I looked down at my phone for what was about 60 to 90 seconds, and as I look up, I look around to see where he was. He was nowhere to be found. Now, for the spot I'm standing at the bridge, you can see about a quarter mile on each side. So again, I doubt he could have done the distance in such a little time at that pace. Sorry this is so long, trying to give the best detail I can for this. I've only told this to my girlfriend, my mom, as I felt no one else would believe me. My question is, what do you think happened? This river is known to be haunted due to a lady killing her 3 kids and herself down by the water by drowning them. But that's a woman with kids, no story of an older man.
It was like he was time jumping. Beep, beep, beep.
Who, the biker?
No, the old man.
Old man walking?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's just a weird. It could have been a coincidence, and sometimes your mind plays tricks on you.
My mind went morbid. What if it's like the kid's father?
Or like grandfather or something?
Well, let's say like the woman killed her kids like 60 years ago in the river.
Mm-hmm.
And the father just constantly would walk around it until he was old. Like it just became a ritual at that point that he's just going to walk around this river looking for his kids. And then when he died, after so many years of just pacing that area,
see, that'd be like an urban legend. It'd become like urban legend type shit.
It would become like residual energy, just constantly looking for his kids. Not that his spirit's there or anything, just a residual
energy.
That's fine. You know,
I would subscribe more to the fact of like some older gentleman just taking a stroll out, and he just started taking a stroll out whenever, just like, oh, it's a nice nature reserve, I'm gonna stroll, like, because I mean that's what my father does, so like that's generally my idea of what old men would do.
Yeah.
So like maybe that, and he just did it so many times that I could subscribe to, but like I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So my next one is my house is haunted? Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation point. It's by user affection-B4138. Okay, so for a little context, I, 24F, have experienced paranormal things my entire life. Despite how badly I don't want to, how hard I try to ignore it, and how often I tell it to go the fuck away, or convince myself I'm crazy and it's not real. All throughout my life, spirits have made their presence known to me. Overall, each experience has been relatively harmless. When I was really little, I would see physical manifestations of the spirits, but as I've gotten older, it's just a feeling and stuff happening around me. They were never threatening or menacing except for 2 times. In college, I moved into a house with my roommate that was built around the 30s, and we found out that the previous owner had died in the house. Little things started happening, like the doorbell going off like it was being held down, light knocking on the walls of our rooms, and I would get that overwhelming chills down my spine feeling of a presence here and there. Nothing malicious, and we also chalked it up to pipes in the walls, old house noises, and faulty wiring. Things like that. However, having experienced things like this before, I knew something was most likely with us. I tried not to scare my roommate, so I wouldn't point out a lot of the things, but she noticed a lot of the little things happening, and ended up getting so scared she asked her parents to come bless the house. Her and her family are very Catholic, and her mom drove 4.5 hours to our college to come bless the house and hang crucifixes and all that. That's when things started to get more intimidating. Among other intense things, one night I woke up with sleep paralysis, and in the corner of my eye I see a shadow figure. I kept saying in my head not to look over, and just close my eyes and go back to sleep. But my dumb little brain couldn't keep itself.
Don't edit this out, Crow. Don't edit this part out. Keep this in here. Your dumb little brain, what?
But my dumb little brain couldn't help itself, and my eyes darted over for a split second. The figure crouched down and darted towards me. It took every ounce of strength to peel myself off that bed and book it to my roommate's room. Now, I have heard many stories of people seeing this shadow figure during sleep paralysis. So I just told myself it was my mind playing tricks on me and let it go. Nothing happened after that, and we moved out shortly after. Fast forward to now. Smiley face. I currently live in my great-great-grandparents' house on our family land over... No.
So they moved from one haunted house to another.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Their great-great-grandparents' house that's on over 100 undeveloped acres. There we go. It's been in the family since the late 1800s. If any land or house is going to be haunted, it would be this one, right? I move in with my sister in September and I'm fully prepared to feel and see things here. However, nothing happened. And for the past 6 months, there have been no sounds, no things moving, no feeling any presence, nothing. Well, my sister moved out about 3 weeks ago, and about a week ago, things start happening.
Oh, fuck.
Of course.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so around last week, my dog wakes me up at about midnight, growling at the corner of my room. The deep, scared kind of growling. I ignore it and rationalize it by thinking he's hearing animals outside, or whatever else it could be, and go back to sleep. The thing scaring me about this occurrence is that he's never done this before, and not in the 6 months here. This happens 2 nights in a row, in the same time of night. Tuesday and Wednesday.
Whoa.
Thursday and Friday, nothing happens. Saturday morning, I wake up around 11 a.m. and let my dog out. My cousin, who lives about a mile down the road from my house with his family, is down at the property target practicing with a friend, and I go talk to them for a bit and go back inside. It's a nice day, so I sat outside to tan for a few hours. Around 2 p.m., I go inside to take a bath. While in the bath, I hear a banging on the door that sounds like the kind of cop knock. Sounds kind of like a cop knock in movies. It caught me off guard, and my dog is going crazy, but I'm assuming it's just my cousin coming up to tell me something. I quickly get out of the bath and go to the door. No one on the porch, and my cousin is still down the property. Far enough that realistically, he couldn't run up, knock on my door, and run back down in that amount of time. Whatever. I still assume it's...
Okay, wait a second. So she was in the bath, right?
Mm-hmm. And someone started pounding on the front door like a cop, like...
She dried herself off. Or just wrapped a towel, like, what did she do? Wrap a towel around her?
I quickly get out of the bath and go to the door.
Okay, so my guess is a robe.
Yeah.
Okay, dry off your feet, go to... Okay, I could see that.
I'm assuming it's a small house.
Smaller.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Great-great-grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So running from that bathroom to the front door...
That wouldn't be too bad.
No, that's like really quick.
Yeah.
So she says, whatever, I still assume it was just him and go about my day. I leave the house for lunch and errands. I get home around 8 p.m., get ready for the night, and sit on the couch watching TV. I'm on FaceTime with my boyfriend when around 9:30 p.m. I hear that same bang on the door and my dog goes crazy again. At this point, I'm immediately paralyzed with fear. My boyfriend keeps telling me to get up and go check, but I'm too scared. Why the fuck is her boyfriend telling her to do that?
Seriously, that's white people shit. Stop that.
Yeah. As a female in the middle of the night too, when you live on like
100 acres of land undeveloped.
do you really think your cousin's gonna be coming up banging on your door at fucking 9:30 at night when he's got his own family?
Your cousin would. The thing is like, if it's not your cousin...
Yeah, you still shouldn't. You shouldn't risk it.
No, you're not gonna go to the door.
He can text.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you banging on my door?
I ain't gonna fucking answer.
Exactly. Finally.
I might be a dumb white bitch, but I'm not that dumb.
Sometimes. Finally, I go peek through the curtain. No one is on my porch or around my house. My boyfriend points out that my porch lights aren't on. I have motion sensor lights surrounding my entire front porch and none of them came on. I'm full-blown panicking and go sit back down on the couch, still on the phone with my boyfriend. I then hear what I can only describe as a scrape across my porch.
Oh,
like a shoe dragging, or maybe even a broom. My boyfriend says that he doesn't hear it, but that he sees both me and my dog at the exact same time look at the door in panic. And of course my dog is barking like crazy again. This time, I quickly go check the window and nothing. No lights. To me, if this is paranormal, it's the most malicious and intense thing I've ever heard. The bang at the door was so aggressive, it shook the door. Of course, I'm going through all these scenarios to rationalize this. Despite being very familiar with paranormal experiences, I always try to rationalize and brush it off as just my imagination, or simply ignore it, because I am so afraid of it. Animals on the porch, trees hitting the house, wind gusts, guns echoing. But I have heard guns echo for the entire time I've lived here. They've never made that visceral and intense, and they've never make that. Whoa. They never make that visceral and intense of a bang on the door. Another more plausible but more terrifying scenario is that there's a real person doing this. However, the lights not going off makes me not think this is it. I even went out and checked the lights after the knockings to see if they were somehow turned off. Nope, they weren't. I ended up calling my cousin to check out the house that same night and he saw nothing. I tried to rationalize it as well, and that's when I checked the lights. I also asked him if he had knocked on my door at any point that day, and he looked genuinely confused and said no. No one knows where I live besides my boyfriend, my cousins, and my family, and a few of my girlfriends. Even my work has my granny's address as mine. I'm so far into the property off dirt roads that my address won't even pop up on maps, so the chances of someone doing this is pretty low, but of course it's not possible. I would love any thoughts or advice on this. I have ordered a Ring camera and will be setting it up when my boyfriend is in town, as well as an even brighter floodlight and bolting up my door sturdier. Sunday, I packed up my stuff and went to my granny's to stay with her for the next few days. If you also think this could be paranormal, please give me any tips on respectfully getting rid of it. I have never tried to get rid of something beyond telling it to leave me alone. LOL.
Okay, so this does not feel like regular paranormal. This feels like the spirit followed her.
I agree. It sounds like something's following her from wherever she goes. And the fact, well, okay, for me, it's the fact that it waited until the sister moved out.
Yes, very much. Which, it's weird that it interacted with the roommate there, but then didn't interact with the sister there. So, like, is the sister older?
No, okay, so it interacted with the roommate at their apartment at their dorm house.
Okay, so it maybe got connected at the dorm.
Maybe.
Because there's a lot of, not only spirits, but there's a lot of, like, egregores and stuff like that.
What the fuck is that?
Egregore is essentially, like, people believe in it so much, and it feeds it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyway, so
Projection.
Either way, it was interacting with her in this old ass fucking house that she had in her dorm.
Mm-hmm.
It was like her dorm house with her roommate. Her and her roommate move out because this thing is like scaring the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Because it gave her sleep paralysis and launched at her.
Yeah.
But then after that, she moves alone to her great-great-grandmother's property. She said it's over 100 acres of undeveloped land.
Yeah, but she moved with her sister, didn't she? She moved in there originally.
She moved into the house with the sister.
Older or younger?
No clue. And then the sister moved out. Her sister moved out 3 weeks ago, and all this started happening this week.
I want to know see if there's any comments to see if it's an older or younger sister.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me a second. She said, "Trust me, I understand how terrifying it is. I have had several sleep paralysis experiences. Like one time I slept on my stomach. I woke up to 3 separate sets of hands on my back holding me down. I usually only hear stuff at night like knocking, and I have tried everything to find an explanation for it. I want to believe that every time something has happened at night, it's just sleep paralysis and me still being in a dream state. I'm so sorry that this happens to you." They responded with, I used to have a nightmare.
Who responded, OP? Or?
Oh, no, this is a whole different person. Significance hungry. And then there's another response that says,
I'm just looking for OP.
Yeah. Affectionate B. Well, in that case, I would try to think of it as a positive experience. Maybe your great-grandparents were letting you know that they're protecting you. But it doesn't give any information. Yeah, and she didn't list her sister's age either.
Okay.
She's 24F though. I would assume her sister's older.
That's what I would assume.
You're touching me.
Shut the fuck up. You were literally tickling your toes against me, okay?
I just stretched my toe up the one time. I didn't even know it was gonna touch you. It wasn't on purpose. I just wanted to stretch my ankle.
Yeah, it touched me like 3 or 4 times. As we start over.
Stop it.
What?
You.
Stop what?
Go.
Yawning?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. You just yawned. Don't
Stop
yell at me.
looking at
Don't
me.
yell at me for yawning when you just fucking yawned.
Stop looking at me.
You stop. Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
I'm not.
I'm not touching you. You see your finger right
I'm
there.
not touching you. I'm touching your clothes, bitch.
I see your finger right there. From Lilo and Stitch.
Oh.
So this story is from r/ghosts. It's from user opposite of Zen 22. Sounds like me. It's titled "The Honda Civic I Drove in College Was Haunted" from Personal Encounters. So, I'm so excited to find this sub. I have kind of weird ghost experiences that I'd love to hear from others on. I thought you were gonna cough.
No.
When I was in high school, my parents bought me a 2002 Honda Civic. It was new, so no previous owners or history. Nothing weird or out of the ordinary for the rest of high school or the first year of college. The second year, I started hearing this strange whistling in my car. It was short, high-pitched whistle, like someone was trying to get your attention. It wasn't a noise from outside the car, but inside. I never felt unsafe or uneasy with it. It was just there. For the rest of my time as an undergrad, the whistling kept happening. Sometimes I might go a day or two without hearing it, or I might get in the car and it wouldn't stop. So I decided to talk to it. I tried asking questions. Sometimes it would answer and sometimes it wouldn't. It would answer questions about if we were related. And I named it Whistler because why not?
It was answering. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was answering questions with whistles.
Oh.
And they named it Whistler. Named it Whistler because why not? Whistler normally stayed in the back seat during our conversations, but would occasionally move up to the front seat. Usually when it did that, it was almost apologetic. The whistle pitch would drop and the whistles would last longer. If I had a friend in the car, some people would hear the whistling and others wouldn't. And sometimes a friend in my passenger seat would hear it while a friend in the back seat didn't. There was one time I was getting cash out of the ATM and my head and arm were outside the car. A friend was in the passenger seat and started freaking out because the whistler started whistling while I was getting money. She didn't ride in my car again after that. That'd be you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ride in your car with something that's whistling at me.
Right, but when I walk into your place and you say, hey, this is grandma in the urn.
Hey,
she comes around sometimes.
It's not even my grandma.
And that's even creepier. That's even creepier.
T needed a place to store her for just a couple days.
That's even creepier.
It's a grandma.
Okay? It's still
creepy. Say she came around.
Yes, she did.
No. Mm-hmm. They have a bell set up on the other one.
As
she does.
She comes around every once in a while. I'm like, okay.
I said she might come around. Oh. She comes around for T a lot.
Mm-hmm.
T and her, like. But T's also got that urn that she finally got back from her family.
Mm-hmm.
She's got her own personal urn.
Mm-hmm.
That she has her little keepsakes in with. And then she has grandma around her neck. That big crystal that she always wears.
Walking into somebody's place and them going, hey, this is not my grandma, but they come around sometimes, is freaky.
Okay, but I also wanted to warn you because, like...
Because I see shit.
Yeah.
I know. But, like, the fact that you're saying ooh to this...
Yeah, because if I warn you about seeing something, that's one thing. But if you come over and you're seeing, like, bah, 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 obviously you're not going to want to come back over again.
You're yelling again.
Sorry. If I get in your car and I hear someone whistling in my fucking ear.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in your car yet. Anyways. Yeah.
The only person the whistling went crazy over was when my mom got in the car. My mom told me that she felt something wrap around her and was whistling so loud in her ear she was afraid her eardrum was going to burst.
Oh. See?
Okay, yes, I agree. That one's creepy. Whistler also let me know when they disapproved of any boyfriends I had in the car.
Is this a dad?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
It doesn't say. After I graduated from college, the whistling stopped, and a few years after graduation, I was in a bad car accident that totaled my car. My mom and I have talked about Whistler over the years, and we're still not sure who it was. Since it knew my mom and seemed to be very excited to see her, we think it might have been my great-grandmother or maybe my grandmother. I'm still not sure why they decided to haunt that car.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, somebody else commented, why didn't you guys ask the Whistler if it was your grandmother? And then OP responded, that's wild. I did ask, but that's one of the questions Whistler wouldn't answer. So they're not 100% sure if it was their grandmother or great-grandmother. But, yeah.
That's crazy.
And they also said that Whistler essentially never touched them, otherwise it probably would have freaked him out. So it was like respecting boundaries that...
My boundaries are don't get the fuck out of my car. You know what I mean? Like, we're not, no.
No, because you have spirits in your house, and you don't say get the fuck out of my house.
If they're whistling in my ears, yeah, get the fuck out of my house.
Just if they push you down the stairs, get the fuck out of my house. I'm making fun of you too. Sorry.
It's not nice.
I'm not that sorry.
In the Ceiling. From the subreddit Ghost Stories. By user blind_Pythia, Pythia, 1996. My dorm in my sophomore year of college was haunted. Oh, I didn't tell you the name of this. The name is In the Ceiling. Strange events happen all the time.
Disgusting. Oh my god, that's disgusting. That is absolutely horrifying.
And as an apartment full of very excitable girls, we were all easily spooked. One of my roommates tried to calm us down by searching for logical explanations for everything that happened, but there were way too many coincidences. It started with little things. The lights would flicker off and on every now and then, and strange singing echoed in the walls. At strange hours of the day, we could all hear a door opening at one end of the apartment. We didn't see anything move. But we all heard it clear as day. And outside of the apartment in that direction, there were no doors. Our bathrooms had motion detecting lights, and I walked into the bathroom at night a lot to go to the bath. Oh my god, why does it say bathroom so many times? Our bathroom had motion detecting lights. I walked out at night a lot to go to the bathroom, and the light would be on. I didn't think anything of it until one night. My roommate and I were talking at like 2 a.m. with the door closed, and she saw the bathroom light come on. I didn't see it because I'm virtually blind and can only see really bright lights. We noticed the bathroom light doing this for a few nights, and then we started noticing that not long after the light would turn on, we would hear a door slam. So one night after the slam, we left our room and knocked on our roommate's door. They were dead asleep. And the only other door in their direction wasn't one that you could slam. It was definitely spooky. Around the same time that all these strange things were happening, I started feeling a very dark presence. I wouldn't say I'm the most sensitive to things like this. I try to pretend sometimes that I don't hear the things that go bump in the night, but this darkness could not be ignored. It hovered low over me and it gripped me with panic at random moments. I didn't understand it. It would come out of nowhere. One night, my roommate and I were the last two getting ready for bed. She had just gotten out of the shower and brushed her hair, and she wedged her hairbrush back into the shelf. I say that because of what happened next. She crammed the brush between various objects on the shelf that held it tight, and turned to me. As we were talking, the hairbrush fell off the shelf. Okay, whatever. She lodged it back in place. We were talking for a few more minutes before this time it was ejected off of the shelf. We both went silent as she picked it up, and then of course her music box started playing. It never played. She never had it play. But it started softly, slowly playing I Know My Savior Loves Me, which was quite possibly one of the scariest songs that could have played at that moment, barring something like Ring Around the Rosies. I was able to get to sleep for a few hours, and then I woke up with the darkness right over me. Of course, I couldn't see anything, but I could feel it, inches away, looking down at me and hating me. I jumped out of bed sobbing. I really didn't want to wake up my roommate, since we always went to bed at such ridiculous hours, but I cried enough that she woke up. And when I told her what I felt, she took me seriously. We pushed our beds together for comfort, and because we are Christians, prayed together. I laid down, and suddenly everything was different. The cold darkness was gone. I felt a warm and powerful love, a familiar spirit that I knew. One of my best friends had killed herself a couple years ago. And I swear, in that moment, I could feel her holding me and telling me everything was all right. The next year, the university converted that building into boy dorms instead of a girl dorms, since it was on the street, and some creepers were looking at girls through the windows. But the coincidence didn't end. A boy killed himself on one of the upper floors. The boys would talk about the building not feeling right, and then one day, one of my friends was looking in the ceiling of his apartment, which was the apartment where my friends and I used to live, and he found a Ouija board. I destroyed it right away, and I moved out of the area. I don't know what happened after that, but I know that apartment was haunted, and it wasn't by anyone very nice.
Okay, then.
It was a lot. Maybe if I could, learn how to fucking read, it'd be a lot better.
It's okay. It's okay. We're all okay.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that really does scare me, is imagining waking up in the night and something staring at you, something being face to face, she said that thing was right in front of her face. She couldn't see it, but she could feel it.
I haven't woken up with anything staring directly at me within 2 feet, but I've woken up to things staring at me from 5 feet away, 6 feet away. Yeah.
Are you talking about your dogs or an animal? Not an animal, an entity.
Entities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that.
Yeah. When I was with a partner, and we were sleeping on the couch, and I woke up to a 6 to 9 foot figure in their dining room with bull horns.
And that didn't scare you away at all?
No.
Satan's in their dining room.
I've had shit on my ceiling, what? Yeah, I've had crawlers and stuff growing up,
That's nasty.
Yeah, I know. I grew up with a lot of spooky shit.
Terrifying.
I grew up with a lot of spooky shit. I had a figure when I was 13 years old stand at the foot of my bed, duplicating me, smiled with a row of razor sharp teeth. I have seen some shit, okay?
That's...
I know, you're gonna say disgusting.
No, thank you.
But no, I have seen and been through some shit, okay, love?
Yeah, but seeing, the devil in someone's dining room...
It ain't about to scare me.
But
I'm gonna look
that one of those little signs?
Nah, because I'm gonna look over and say, get out.
To the devil?
Yeah. I'm sleeping over here. What?
And I know you would.
Yeah, I would. That's why I'm guard dog. That's why I'm grumpy.
As Satan. Or, whatever.
Come back during business hours.
It's the entity that represents what the Christians think Satan is standing in someone's fucking... Ew. I got hair in my mouth. Is standing in someone's fucking dining room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning around. Because whatever the fuck they got going on with themselves, with life, not something I can deal with right now. I'll recommend you to a priest.
No.
You should get that shit figured out. Nope.
No, because just because it's in their living room or something doesn't mean it's attached to them. It could have followed me.
So why would you only see it at that guy's house?
I only saw it the one time. I think I saw it like twice or something like that. But yeah, no.
Have you ever seen it around your house?
No, but I only saw it twice.
Okay. I'm just pointing out.
But I also saw the demon duplicating me at the foot of my bed in my parents' house. So again, I've seen a lot of shit.
Demons are different than fucking Satan, bro.
I said it just had bull horns, not necessarily Satan. Have you looked up like biblical descriptions of angels? Because oh my god,
You think that was like a fucking angel?
it could have been. Well, look up biblical descriptions of angels for me. Like,
I know what they look like, but like, angels also are scary in the physical, not in the mental.
I
Yeah.
wasn't scared,
But this doesn't look like a bullhorn.
and that looks creepier.
Yes.
Yeah, they all look like weird. It's not.
Yeah, but they also bring an overwhelming sense of calm and peace with them. Not.
I didn't feel like I was gonna get attacked or anything. It was just like, why the fuck is this motherfucker standing in the dining room?
You didn't feel anything with it?
Not really. I felt like I wanted to roll over and go back to sleep. So, weird thought of the week for you. Most people aren't scared of being alone in the dark. They're scared of not being alone in the dark.
Yeah, that's exactly my fear. The darkness does not scare me. Dark does not scare me at all.
Which, like, somebody breaking in and, like, you turn off all the lights and you're going to bed, which is why I sleep with the TV on. To imagine somebody breaking in the middle of the night and, like, watching me sleep. That's not.
Well, it's
being
not
alone
too.
in the
And then
dark.
during the day, I don't like it. Like, just imagining like someone's just like chilling in the room with you.
Yeah, but during the day,
When
it's
I'm
not
not
in the dark.
expecting. If I'm like sitting in this room,
Mm-hmm.
lights are on and everything, and like let's say I'm just
Typing
playing
away.
and I don't realize Quantum comes up the stairs and like, stands in the room with me, it scares the piss out of me.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing in this room? Scares the piss out of me.
See, when I get scared like that, I look at them, I go, you need a bell. You need a bell. I'm
Yeah.
getting you a bell.
No, that's gross.
My room for my lab for work has been open recently. And people have snuck in and just started talking and made me jump out of my fucking skin. Terrifying.
Ew.
Hysterical, but terrifying.
Well, Quantum does it to me all the fucking time. He'll be walking up the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be sitting in the office. I have my headphones on. I'm not paying any attention,
Mhm.
right? I don't ever fucking pay attention to my surroundings. Do I know that's terrible because I always leave the door unlocked? Absolutely. I just don't. I have a big ass dog
Yeah.
that's scary as fuck,
Yeah.
and I am not afraid to fight a grown man, okay? So when he comes up the stairs, he'll stop and he'll
Okay.
just stare at me where it's just like just his head above the railing.
Okay. Creepy.
So just his head is right there, and he's
Quantum, why are you like this?
this is how he's staring at me.
Quantum,
Eyes
why are
wide
you
open.
like this?
Terrifying. Terrifying. I'll look over because I'll see
Mm-hmm.
like the light difference because obviously he's. I mean, I guess it's not. None of you guys know. My husband's very white, far more tan white. So I'll see the change in like the difference of like like the
There's movement.
yeah. Ugh. It scares the piss out of me every single fucking time. Half the time he'll come all the way up the stairs, all the way around down the hallway, down to the room I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
and come walking in, and I only realize he's walking in when he's in the doorway and I feel the vibrations and I look up like someone's gonna attack me.
Oh my god.
It's terrifying.
That's hysterical though.
No.
It's kind of funny. I don't live with anybody, so
I hate it.
Well,
What's our
apparently.
outro?
I tell you to wrap it up. I think we need to change our outro.
Did you write the outro on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with us.
No.
I guess no thanks. Don't. You're not thanked for hanging out with us at all. Fuck off. You know, lady asked for us to do the outro, and this is what it is. So, fuck you. You're not welcome for hanging out with us.
Be kind and love yourselves.
And maybe hydrate, you little fuckers. Especially lady who apparently needs a lot.
Bye,
Bye, bitches.